Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your boy Rashaun here, coming at you again with another screen recorded video. All right, so for today, I'm gonna go ahead and kick off season 1.3, aka episode 3 of season 1. It's gonna be I'm gonna be kicking it up with my personal experience regarding that specific topic at hand. So going forward, I'm gonna be talking about a specific topic, and I'm gonna try to relate it to my experience or someone else's experience to help drive my point home. All right, so for right now, this episode is going to be on the topic of guts and having guts. You have to have guts in order to make it in this world. You need to be willing to take risks in order to gain greater rewards, but you also need to know when to call it quits. Basically, when to call it quits is when you see the risk is starting to become greater than the reward. It's important to basically stop while you're ahead, as some people would like to say. All right, so this is going to be my very first foundational success video, which is like a TFS for short. So it's going to be titled TFS, which stands for Foundational Success. Guts. You got to have guts. If you don't have guts, you won't take risks. If you don't take risks, you're never going to yield any kind of good results. As somebody who doesn't take risks, I don't know how you live in life. I don't know how you live in life, or at least a successful one. I don't know how you're doing that without taking risks. You have to take risks, fam. So, an important thing of an example of risk in my life is when I first when I was living with my grandmother. Me and my mother was living with my grandmother. We was in the house, and I know how certain households can be full of verbal abuse. Where parents may say things to you, whether it be your mother or your grandmother or whoever it is, they may say things to you as a kid that make you feel less of yourself. Things like you don't contribute to shit, or basically you can't do shit, and all this stuff. And these things are true, but it's like you're a kid, and you're a youth, a minor, So it's not like you don't want to. It's just you can't really, And growing up like that, I was got a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of demoralized things. I've been called all kind of bitch and motherfuckers and all types of stuff. But my family sad to say I've been through those situations. I know we all have crazy people in our family. You know what I'm saying? But I'll talk about more on that later. But it became a time to where I started to question myself, and I wanted to prove myself. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that I did was I started to stand up for myself. Like, hey, man, you're not about to keep talking to me like that. I don't care if this is your house. Because before, had a whole bunch of people in my family be like, when you're up under somebody else's house, you got to put up with their shit until you get your own shit. And it's like, man, fuck that, man. Nah. I'd rather just go out with nothing versus, sit up here and just keep having you try me like this. Because it's hard to get your own place, because you got to figure in the beginning, because you got to figure it out. You got to figure out who you are. You got to figure out what works for you, and you got to figure out how to get steady income, on how to keep going on and moving forward, and so on and so forth. And yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot in the beginning, especially as a kid, because you don't really know who you are and you don't really know shit. And it's not your fault. It's because nobody never really taught you shit. But after a while, knowing that you don't know shit is what makes you want to have to know shit. Let me move this camera up some. There we go. So it's what makes you want to know shit. So I use guts to stand up for myself, because you being a man, I stood up to my, standing up to a grandmother, somebody who used to whoop your ass all the time. It's a pretty scary thing, as a kid, standing up to your grandmother, and at the time as a youth, because grandma didn't play. Grandma used to whip your ass and so on and so forth. But I started getting older, and once I got too old for weapons, I started getting put the fuck out. So, after time and time again, getting put the hell out, going from one grandma house to the next grandma house. This is when they were both alive. And at the time, is you keep getting put the hell out and put the hell out and put the hell out and stay at this one. Then both of them put your ass out, and you can't go to neither one of them, because they're both mad at you for standing up for yourself or whatever it is, or they feel like you're being disrespectful because they feel like you have to give them respect, but they don't have to give you any respect. And that's a lot of old people, by the way. Not all of them. I met some very good and respectful older people whom I cherish, and I'll name those later on in other videos. But going on with this thing is how I had guts and how I took risks. So I had a little dog, and I was in my grandmother's house, and my grandmother didn't want me to have the dog, and whatever. So I used to stick him in and do all this, and have him sit outside when I go to school. So when I go to school or whatever, you know, he had to sit out school for in the woods for 8 hours tied to a tree. And when I came back, I unhook him, I feed him, I take care of him. Take him around the house sometimes, and then sometimes, dogs are so smart. One time he got off the leash and he was able to track his way all the way back to the house, and he was waiting on the front porch when I got out of school. You know what I'm saying? And went over there to the house. I seen he wasn't there, and I was worried about him, and I was sad, because I didn't know he had went to the house. But he got off the chain, went all the way up to the house, and it's like, oh, dogs know how to find their way to the house, and grandmother's ways of raising hell and all this stuff. It's like, dang, I don't want to get rid of my dog. You know the way you find a bond with him, and being poor, you can't really take care of it like you really want to, and do all the things and all that stuff. So I, was going back and forth with the dog. I'm saying, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have had the dog or whatever, but I like that dog. I found a little, I found him, and he we just clicked. Me and the dog. Me and the dog had something, but I kept around there. But that's not what got me put the hell out. What got me put the hell out was me standing up for myself, and my mother standing up for herself. To just abuse, because nobody want to keep being verbally abused. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. It's abuse. I want to keep dealing with that shit, especially from their own family. We grown, we trying to figure life out. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be a criminal. I'm trying to figure out how to do this shit without being a criminal. Can you understand that? You don't have the knowledge to tell me this, even though you think you do and you feel like you do. Your 1980s and 1970s knowledge is not going to help me with what's going on in today's marketplace, with today's things going on. Like, yeah, that's great. You were in the baby boomer generation, the only generation to where if you just wanted to get up and go to work and make a whole bunch of money, you could. You could go up and afford a house in a couple months by going and working and being a boomer. You can do all this and take out all this mortgage and do all this shit. And the boomer generation, don't get me started on the boomer generation. Just okay, boomer. That's why it's such a big slogan today. That's why a lot of people be like, okay, boomer, yeah, whatever you say, man, whatever. All right, so basically I got put the fuck out, and my mother got put the fuck out via eviction. She evicted both our asses, for standing up for ourselves, not trying to keep, say, you're not about to keep calling me bitches and motherfuckers and all this shit and down talking me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it is my grandmother, I don't care if it is your house. So basically me and my family have been beefing for a long time for a lot of different things. It's like the older I get and the more I find out, the more I get angry at the motherfucker and a whole lot of shit. And I'm not about to kiss ass, just to have a roof over my head. So that was the first time I ever did life on hard mode. And well, it's always been hard, even in school, but this is the first real hard mode where I actually did it like real life, like you have to be a man now. Then when I got put out, and me and my mother made that decision to go out on Peachtree and Pine, where basically Peachtree and Pine is it's shut down now, but at that time it was a very lively place, full of homeless people, full of drug dealers, and full of girls who even look remotely cute would go up and use that cuteness, to attract these drug dealers to get the drug dealer money and the benefits and give up the cooter to the drug dealer in exchange. Because, drug dealers, money, hoes, cars and clothes, whatever. That's the lifestyle. But me, I'm not being a criminal for no JJ, you know what I'm saying, or no tax-free money and none of that. Like, because when you get caught up, and a lot of the people in my family who actually used to sell drugs, and some of them still do sell drugs to this day, all types of drugs, Molly, perks, all types of stuff, weed, exotic weed, regular weed, all types of stuff. Some of them are on drugs, you know what I'm saying? And sad to say, my grandmother, she was the one who's passed, not the one who's alive. The one who's alive, that's the eviction lady, but the one who would like to always evict people and keep evicting people. And I'm like, bro, that eviction shit not cool. But, you're not really supposed to evict your damn family, but, she love eviction because she's so, more on that later. So yeah, so got evicted. Me and my mom we got put out, and we was out there on. And we decided to be on Peachtree and Pine, and we was out there looking, and it just looked really. It looked like a bad neighborhood. Like it looked like you put all the junkies and drug dealers and gangsters and basically ratchetos all in one block. That's what Peachtree and Pine was. But when you're actually out there, you notice that the bum that smelled like piss and shit, you know, is not really bad people. He's really good. He just smells like piss and shit. So you don't really want to hang around like that. But he's a person just like everybody else. And you got the grandparents, and you got the schizophrenic lady yelling and cussing everybody out, and then you got the drug dealer just trying to do their thing, and then you got all these different homeless people. It's like a homeless block party, and you know, it's homeless block party 24/7. You had all the people pulling up through there, making donations all the time. You had the shelter right there, so homeless go in, sleep at night, come out. Some of them, the ones that couldn't qualify to get in the homeless shelter, or if the homeless shelter was full or whatever, you know what I'm saying, people had to sleep on the concrete. And they had the, what they had? Yeah, they had people pull up with McDonald's gift cards. They had people come up with Walmart gift cards, Chick-fil-A gift cards, Arby's gift cards, all kind of gift cards. They pull up through there where, you know, say if you were hungry, there was always something to eat because some junkie might not have wanted something because there's so much stuff floating around. You got sandwiches, you got motherfucking chips and all this stuff. You gotta do is go outside and pick something up off the ground. And shit, there's so much shit. It's had so much resources out there. Yeah, everybody was straight for the most part. Everybody was straight, you know, being out there, especially my mom's, man. So she had a place to sleep, and you know, for somebody that didn't have shit, that was like a wonderful place to be for somebody who didn't have shit. But the thing is it was the mentality. You know, it was the mentality of the people out there and the mentality of the situation. Because it was very easy to fall in love with it, to me. And I think that's what keeps you trapped out there. And I'm like, damn, that's why a lot of these people be out here for so long, because it's like so many people, they don't believe in themselves. And I'm out here because I stood up for myself over at my grandmother's, and, you know, got tired of my shit and put me the fuck out. You know, and both of them, you know, it's putting me the hell out back and forth because I wasn't just about to be disrespected just to have a place to stay. So, yeah, I got put the hell out. And, you know, the girl that I was dating at the time, and, you know, said she found out that I was homeless. And, you know, I guess, you know, when it rains, it pours. You know, so some time later, some time later, she dumped me. So now I'm out here. I'm poor, homeless, nowhere to go, and I lost my girlfriend, and I lost my dog too because I had to give up my dog to even get out there in the first place. So I lost my dog, I lost my girl, I lost all this stuff. So it was a lot of down things, but at least I had good people, I guess. You know, I could talk. Well, I can't really talk to the drug dealer, and can't really get no new girl because, you know, all the ones that look like something is all up in the drug dealer face. So I can't compete with the drug dealer. I'm out here getting free snacks and gift cards and shit. He over there giving the junkie over there his next high. You know what I'm saying? And he's making all the money, so I couldn't compete with them for those girls. And then these girls on damaged goods anyway. So I doubt that to be a healthy relationship because a lot of these girls crazy as hell. So I just, you know, it was a real bad situation, you know, to be in. So to me, I just saw it as it was a good move. It was better to be there when you're in a half shit, but it's not the best piece. It wasn't the best place to be. And the mindset of the people out there is like, why even get up and get a job when they're just going to give you everything? We got our place to stay right here. Shit, all you gotta do is come outside. You got food right here. You got clothes right here. They're giving it out, especially on the holidays for Christmas, Thanksgiving. Man, Christmas, Thanksgiving, you're out here, like you done hit the jackpot. You know, so many people come out there Christmas, Thanksgiving. Man, it's like you ain't really gotta. Man, it's like the homeless people done hit the lottery. You know what I'm saying? They got all kind of shit out there, man, and we just out there enjoying the shit and doing all that and so it was fun, and I really enjoyed it. And then, you know, for the time that I was out there, but I had to figure out how to get out of there. Cause now I'm sitting up here trying to figure out a way. How the hell am I gonna get out of here? And I have no kind of way. It's like, damn, I could get a job in the city, but sure, ain't You know what I'm saying? But everybody trying to get a job out here in the city. All these minimum wage jobs, you know what I'm saying? They out here, man. I'm out here, so I'm trying to figure it out. Like, damn, what the hell you gonna do? What you gonna do? How about, excuse me. But like, what the hell you gonna do? And then, lo and behold, my answer came to me a few days later. It's a lady, she came up there, when I was up there getting that spaghetti from the lunch line. Up there, man, that free spaghetti, man. That spaghetti was hitting to me. I don't know, that was real spaghetti. Man, it didn't cost nothing either, but no, I despise the free lunch guys. Those are out there just expect a whole bunch of handouts. That's why a lot of people, they get them food stamps and the government assistance, and they get the government houses to where you only pay $50 a month rent. You got to subsidize everything, and they trying to they try to keep that shit forever. No. Move on. Don't try to keep it forever. It's good to have it, but y'all trying to live off $50 a month rent for the rest of your life. And some of them try to lower their income just to keep getting the government benefits, man. And it's all type of people, man. I've seen all type of people, man. Food stamps and all type of stuff, man. That stuff not right. That stuff, man. Supposed to they give you that so you can move on, so you can survive and don't have to hurt while you're trying to move on to the next level. But people trying to live off that, and they want to live small and live in fear, scarcity, and lack. Don't want to do nothing. That's their bubble. It's government assistance, and they always want to act like they somebody. I'm talking about those people, man, and they really give people a bad name. So even though I was in a homeless situation and I was in a bum situation, I wasn't a bum at heart. I know, it wasn't in me to beg. It wasn't into me to sit up there and do that junkie shit. None of that. Do no drugs or none of that. It wasn't in me to do that. But going back to the lady came to me, and she was a representative of a place called the Covenant House, Georgia. She was the one that referred me to it, and I didn't know what the Covenant House was, and I didn't want to leave my mother, but my mother wasn't a youth. Because this place was a youth shelter. And yeah, so by this place being a youth shelter, only I can go, from the ages of 18 to 21. That's what it was, 18 to 24. 18 to 24 was the age range, so I get to go up there and my mother, she was getting free fruit cups and free stuff, like free stuff, whatever the free dude, from the dudes. So whatever the dudes out there was getting, because they wanted my mom or whatever, because she was still a cute lady, a pretty lady. So they trying to holler at her and all this shit, and they trying to holler, give her the free stuff that they got for free, and try to act like they got value. Like, dude, you're a bum. And y'all trying to holler at whatever. But my mother did manage to find a boyfriend out there, and that was good for her. So I figured, what I'm saying. That's good for her, man. She wanna, she in a good situation. She got a man, what I'm saying. So she got some sort of protection from other bums or whatever, and she got a place to sleep in the shelter. So she got all these dudes giving her free stuff, and she's got more free stuff. So she in a good situation. So I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna leave my mom. She's not too bad. So I took a chance, and I see what this Covenant House was about, man. And I took a chance and said, what's the worst that could happen? I end up back out here with my mom on Peachtree and Pine. So luckily, I had a double good come out of this situation, because that youth shelter was one of the best shelters I ever been at. I done aged out now. I can't go in the youth shelter nowadays. And I wouldn't want to, because, I have a lot of stories on that youth shelter, as a matter of fact. That I will be going into in the future, but for right now, I went into that youth shelter, and it was a very good thing. It was a very good thing for me. But me and my mindset at the time was it hasn't matured yet. I was smart, but I was too rebellious. So a lot of times, I may have run-ins with the rules that they have, because they do have rules there. And it's right, what I'm saying? But at the time, it didn't feel like it was right, because, the dude that was there, it's like, yeah, the place there's rules here, but it's some small thing, man. I don't want to have to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning to go stand in no program for no 30 minutes and hear y'all talk about some bullshit and you know what I'm saying? Because I was used to the Peachtree and Pine, like, you know, like we get up, wake up in the morning and we're free, you know what I'm saying? It's not like a youth program, but they had it to where if you didn't have a job in this youth program, if you didn't have a job, then you have to go through this program. And the program lasts about as long as school, where you just go and you do your morning meeting, then you go and do uh, lectures after lectures where they talk to you about stuff, and then after you do your lectures, you got your lunch, and then after your lunch, you got your gym time, your free time, and then after your free time, you know what I'm saying, you got your dinner time, and after your dinner time, you know, say you just chill in the lounge until it's time to go to sleep, and just rinse and repeat. And if you didn't want to do that, you have to leave the property. So they make you leave the property. So I had to leave the property a lot, but I stayed a lot too. But you know, they had your orientation to where you had to do at least 5 days in there doing that shit, man. Yeah, there was some stuff that I didn't like. And then you had the ROP people. Those were like the bougie people, like the people that was poor and homeless, just like you're poor and homeless, youth, you know what I'm saying? But they're in ROP, which is rights of passage, so they get their own living situation, you know what I'm saying, their own things where they get to go in the cottages in the back, where instead of 4 people to a room, it's 2 people to a room. And you know, the girls and all this stuff, you know, they acting stuck up and stuff. I'm like, ROP, but I never made it in the ROP during that time. My first time around, I never made it in the ROP, but my second time going in there, I was actually made it in the ROP the second time, because the second time I came in, I was much more mature, much more wise, and I understood more about myself and how to deal with adversity and stuff like that. But that's a whole different story for a whole different time. But I'm just talking about my first time around going in there, and I am going to do some video series on my experience in that youth shelter. But that's the entry level stuff right there. So all this from taking a chance, man. Like you know, I took a chance. I stood up for myself, so I got my dignity. I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? It ain't too bad. It ain't too rocky. You know what I'm saying? It's a couple of times to where, and I had to learn a lot. And man, it's a lot. My homeless experience was boy, that's a lot. Man, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. I got years and years and years worth of stuff to tell y'all, because I was homeless on and off for multiple years, and it was very difficult, and I was bouncing around from spot to spot, and I took my licks and I lived life on hard mode. But I learned a lot, and it made me a very strong person. But you guys are gonna like this, so I'm sure you guys are gonna like this. So this is guts, bro. You gotta have guts. You gotta have guts. If you don't have guts, you're never gonna get anywhere. You can't be afraid thinking what if, or oh, I'm not gonna do that, that's too risky. I'm not gonna do this, that's too risky. Like some of the people don't even have the guts to talk to the people that they like, or tell the girl that you like her. You know what I'm saying? It's like her shit stink just like you stink. You know, your shit stink. And whatever. Just get your ass up over there and talk to her. What's the worst you're gonna say? No. You know what I'm saying? So just don't, you know, a lot of people don't even approach women anymore and do all this anymore. Like, you know, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know, she got a whole bunch of people approaching her already. It's like you don't want to just be another number that, 1,001 dude that approached me this month or whatever, so on and so forth. But you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, even with women, with opportunities, with jobs, with everything. So I'm going to be going over a lot of stuff. I have a lot of experience to share with you guys. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little video that I had going on. It was a lot of information packed in here. We're nearing the 25-minute mark. I don't want to be too long on these videos. But yeah, that was my experience of what guts can get you. So guts can get you put the fuck out, but you know what I'm saying? Guts can also get you in a lot of situations and learning. Like, at least you still have your dignity. You know, like even though I got put the fuck out, I mean, if I would have just let this person bitch me, so to speak, yeah, I could have still been there for a little bit longer. And yeah. But you know, ain't nobody about to just keep disrespecting me. You gotta have some kind of stand up about yourself. It's like letting the bully keep bullying you, you know what I'm saying, until you graduate. It's like, well, it's not forever. It's only 4 years. You're just going to be taking my lunch money for 4 years, and then when I graduate, I don't have to deal with them anymore. You know, like, what the fuck? You know, so it's going to be a time to where you have to stand up for yourself. So, yeah, I think I've ran it on long enough. But yeah, this is Rashaun 317. And why do I keep saying Rashaun 317? That's my old YouTube now. I keep saying Rashaun 317. My real name is Rashaun. That's my first name, Rashaun. This is Rashaun, y'all, and I'm out.
I was down and I became a better me. My list of problems, kid you not, was longer than a sweater sleeve. Now I'm a boss, something they was thinking I would never be. Catch a flight and go to places I thought I would never see. My vision clear just like my future. Flex like I got super strength. Thought I always knew the way till I thought I had